Hi friends, welcome back to Texas Family Life. My name is Kristy. I'm a mama of 7. With baby number 8 on the way, we will have 8 children, 8 and under. I have to ask if you have ever felt burnt out as a mom. Whether you have 1 kid or 8, I think this is possible for anyone who spends a lot of time with their children, especially moms that stay at home. I have been there. I've had my hard days just like anybody else. I've lost my patience and really made a big fool of myself in front of my children, in front of my husband. We've all been there, I think. And I think just as humans, dads have been there, children have been there. We are all so imperfect and we expect so much from each other, especially when we live in close quarters with each other and see each other every day. So why are moms the ones getting burnout? Like I said, I think it is everybody. Everybody has their time where they're just not shining as bright as they can. And as moms, we have a lot of time to focus on that and dwell on that, and it's not always good. We do so much around the house. We cook and clean and care for the babies. We change diapers and do bedtimes and bath time. Some mamas have husbands that help with those things, and some mamas have husbands that work crazy hours and that can't help as much as they wish they could themselves. We do this day in and day out, and I think the mundaneness of it is what really tends to get to us sometimes. But there are so many ways that we can curb this burnout or try to deter it. So I would like to talk about a few ways that we can do this in our own lives and that we can encourage our own mother friends or sisters or children when they're adults having children of their own. I personally call myself the queen of good enough. Okay, I don't actually say that, but everyone who knows me knows that I live by the term. It is good enough. I believe this is a great thing to embrace, especially as a mother. You have to let go of things being perfect, because if you expect everything to be perfect with children around, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Because once again, everyone is human and they all make mistakes, especially children, and especially you as a mom to small children. There is a time for perfection and doing everything the right way, and I think when your children are small, that is not what we need to expect at the time. You cannot expect to go to church and your children act perfectly. You can't expect to go to every birthday party and it just goes swimmingly. You have to know that there are going to be times that you just can't do it all, and it's not all going to get done, and that's going to have to be okay. So this goes along with another point, which is set realistic goals and time frames. Like if you told your friend you would go with them to the park at 10 a.m. tomorrow, don't try to do homeschooling as well and shove all those things in the morning, because you're going to rush yourself and you're going to rush your children and it's going to turn into a bad morning. I joke about something I read once, and it's you can either be on time to church or we can have a good morning, but you can't do both. And it's funny in a way that it's kind of painful. Like when you are rushing your children and your family, you can see that things kind of go sour. Mom gets in a bad mood, the kids get in a bad mood, dad gets in a bad mood, and it all just goes very poorly. So set realistic goals and time. Plan to leave 30 minutes earlier than you need to be somewhere. Plan in a way where you know what your children and yourself are going to wear the next day. I make that mistake a lot. I will plan my children's clothes, but not mine, and for some reason, nothing works that I want to wear. So that ruins a lot of times just a few minutes of my morning, and it's enough to throw us off. Now, that doesn't mean that you can have zero expectations, because if you go that direction as well, it's going to make things hard. Your children need you to have expectations for them. They need to know how they are expected to behave anywhere they go, whether it be church or a party. But just try to let go of the expectation that everything's going to go perfectly, because when it doesn't, you will feel much better. And then when it does go well, you feel 10 times better than you would have felt otherwise. Another hard but good one is to ask for help and delegate more, whether that be asking your husband for help or your friends, your parents, your in-laws. You would be amazed at how many people actually want to help you and are offering a hand, and you just don't even notice. There are a lot of people who live nowhere near family, and I can completely understand that. Although my family live close, they don't tend to help, and I love them and appreciate them so much, but they have their own lives to live and they are busy with that, and I completely understand. But as a mama who has had 7 kids and is pregnant with number 8, I can see clearly how I hope to help when my children have children. I am going to be that grandma, God willing, that is always there, a phone call away, just chomping at the bit to come help or to have my grandbabies over, because I know how much that could help and how much that can lighten a load. I am blessed with the sweetest in-laws and the most wonderful parents, but like I said, they have their own things going on, and unfortunately, they aren't always there to help. And many of my close friends have many children themselves. But despite all of this, I know that I could call any one of them at any moment, and they would be there as soon as possible to help me out, which is an amazing feeling. But I also know that if I do not ask for any help, there will not be any help. I have lived so long with my husband having a job where he really isn't home often, and when he is, he's typically sleeping so he can wake up and go to work. He has a blue-collar job, and so from the day we married, I have known that a lot of things I will have to take care of myself, and I think that has made me a better person. But at the same time, I've become a more difficult wife, because when he is home, it's harder to ask for help, and it makes things a little more complicated. So my recommendation to you is to ask for help. Another great tip for when you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed or burnt out is to take a break. Now, this can be a little bit by yourself, or bring your kids with you, because they need a break too. And when I say break, I don't mean like leave your children for a day or two. I mean take a minute, have a dance party, have a walk, go on a walk with your kids, go walk the backyard. I've started walking outside, just these laps in my tiny backyard, and it is so refreshing. And a lot of times the kids come outside with me and they try to catch up with me. I walk as fast as I can, and it is so much fun for them to run and to watch me walk and play their own little games. But getting that fresh air and the sunshine really lightens things up too. It makes you have a new perspective on the day, and it just makes everything feel a little bit better. My biggest, most important tip to avoid burnout is to realize the blessings that you do have. If you sit and think, I promise you can think of at least 3 blessings you've been given each day. Whether it be something small, like seeing a beautiful bloom on a flower, or something big like, hey, I got money to pay this bill that I didn't think we were going to be able to pay. You have blessings in your day. You just have to look for them. And once you start seeing them, they become more apparent. And it's harder to be bitter. I try to remember to wake up every morning and firstly thank God for waking me up again and giving me these beautiful children and my wonderful husband. And when I go to bed, I thank him for the same things and more. And I would love to remind you right now, Mama, that you were made for this life. You were made for these children and these hard times. And even though it may not be said often, you are very much appreciated. You are doing so good for your children and for your family. And I would love it if you would take a moment today or tomorrow to go and tell your husband and tell your children how much you appreciate them. Tell them you love them. Tell them how special they are to you. I can't tell you how big of smiles my children get when I am praying at night with them. We all go around and we say something we're thankful for. And I say, I thank you for these beautiful children that I got to spend my whole day with. Did you ever hear your parents say things like that? I can only imagine how special it can make a child feel. Another thing that I enjoy that seems to make my days a little bit better is to have some sort of morale booster in your house. Something that's not terrible for you, but something like a sparkling water that you can go take a sip of halfway through the day and just say, this is nice. Or, some cookies somewhere that you can grab one when you're feeling a little bit down. Treat yourself with some sort of essential oil that you like to put on and kind of lift your spirit, like an orange smell or a peppermint, something that's going to lighten your mood a little bit when things are extra hard. Or maybe have some special bubble bath set aside for you for the end of the night when the kids are in bed. You deserve good things too, and I know firsthand how easy it is to give to your family, and definitely have yourself nowhere in the picture for importance. I truly and thoroughly enjoy putting myself last, but I think sometimes it's okay for me to get a nice bubble bath, and it's okay to have a cookie, and it's okay for us to make donuts in the kitchen. I am so against frying my own food just because of how the house ends up smelling when I do it, but this was the first time I've ever made donuts, and it was a ton of fun. But I digress. Mama, at the end of the day, you are doing a good job. Keep your head up. Keep your eyes towards God. Remember that your children are His first, and that He gave them to you for a reason, and He gave you to them for a reason. Remind yourself that there are some mamas out there who don't get to hold their little girls and little boys anymore. Maybe because they lost them, or maybe because they've grown and moved on. You are blessed, and these days are going to fly by. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. I can't wait to see you again soon.